Well, this is my Yisan the Wonder Bear deck I got going on. Anyway, I wonder what he does. You don't know. There you go. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy so far with this. We'll take a quick run through the deck there. I'm going to start off with 28 forests, and then we'll move on to the non-basic lands. Okay, so the non-basic lands, we got a Pendlehaven starting it off for all the 1/1 guys. An Ancient Tomb to help get second turn Yisan. Yavimaya Hala for the Regenerate. Homeward Path. There's like 45 creatures in this deck, so it seems like an obvious choice. Reliquary Tower. This is actually for mono green. This draws a lot of cards. You'll see why later. Gotta love the mono mana, so we've got lots of that going on in here. So that produces a pretty good amount. 45 creatures. Gaze Cradle also does a good job. Is there a temple to untap those two lands? And a sack outlet with Diamond Valley. Okay, so we'll dive into the rest of the deck here. Started off with the 1-drop, so all the creatures are on top. We'll go through those first. So we got Elves, Elves 2.0, Little Birds of Paradise, Magnus, Candelabra, great for untapping Cradle and such. Wasteland Viper for a Death Touch, or a nice surprise. Tracker, he's just awesome. You should pick him up. Really good card for mono green EDH. Now in the 2-drops, Priests, a lot of elves in here. Good amount anyways. Speaking of which, there's also good fatty selection in here, so it boosts up pretty good. Library's banned, so next best thing, why not? It's great for shutting down a lot of commanders. Vexing Revoker, just a solid card. Wall of Blossoms, good for blocking in the beginning for low casting cost generals. Gets you another card. It's pretty good. 3-drops now. Somberwald Sage. Great for 45 creatures in the deck. What can I say? Getting lands out. Pretty good. Getting more lands out. Coming card draw. Speaking of card draw, also creature removal if they choose to block. It's always good. Can become a pretty good beater with 28 forests in the deck. Plus he's hexproof. Surprise, I'm playing with Eternal Witness in a mono green deck. Fierce Empath, great for tutoring up the fatties early. Gotta get those lands out. Draw a card. Good old sad robot. Singing Tree, shuts down a lot of stuff actually in EDH table. It's pretty hilarious. Chameleon Colossus, pretty good against a black player. And a lot of extra mana going on there. You're gonna really beat someone's face with it. I've done it quite a few times. It's probably an all-star of the deck here, the Sabertooth. So you bounce your guys, get the come into play effects over and over again. This deck draws a lot of cards off of playing creatures for triggers, so it's just a solid card in this deck. Also good for all the creatures in the deck. Chump Blocker, bring it back, get another card. The Insurance Policy, someone's going to steal your crap, you're going to get it all back. It's come in handy a few times. Spike Weaver, totally solid, just amazing EDH card. Just Fog on a Stick, keep bouncing them, just keep resetting them, good times. All my guys get flashed, that's pretty good. Can't complain with that, plus it's an elf. Seedborn Muse, just solid, everybody knows that, especially with that on the table. Everybody's turn becomes your turn, that's pretty good. Okay, here's one of our creature draw triggers here. The Pack Leader, 3 power and up. You draw a card when you play, or when it comes into play. We're drawing a lot of cards, so might as well punish people for it with the Crawler. Plus, it's an alternate win condition for this deck. Acidic Slime, it's pretty solid Death Touch and removal. EDH stable. Cockatrice, truly hilarious. Like, people just don't want to attack you when it's on the table half the time. It'll block all day. Just a solid card for this format. Soul of Harvest, best draw engine in the deck. When any creature comes into play, it's not a token, you're going to draw a card under your control. It's one I go for the most. Sage, pretty good. Not quite as great as the Soul of Harvest because it's only when you're casting them, so Yisan doesn't trigger it. That's more cards. The Big Fat Eternal Witness. Deadwood Tree Folk, bring creatures back. Brutalizer Exarch, awesome. Awesome card. Tuck an annoying artifact or enchantment that's just ruining your day, or you can tutor up a creature. Vigor just makes choices a lot harder for them. They don't want to attack you if they don't have a way to get rid of them. Don't want to block either sometimes if they can take it. Duplicate, mono green creature removal, can't complain there. Hornet Queen, like the cockatrice. Same effect. A lot of the time people don't attack you and it's sitting on the board with its idiots. You keep bouncing her, making more of them. It's good times. And another token generator, Avenger Zendikar. Everyone knows that one. It's probably going to be in a green deck, so you're not surprised. But that's a surprise sometimes. People don't remember this one. So when you're searching your library, which we seem to do a lot with our general, get to cast them out and get a nice big beater. Woodfall Primus for nice removal, for getting rid of some of those pesky artifacts again, enchantments. Trastodon, which we all know is just great in this format. Unfortunately though, Elephant Graveyard didn't make the cut. I tried to squeeze it in there. I know what you people are thinking, like, why? Why it's Elephant Graveyard? I know. It could have actually been relevant, but no. There just wasn't room in it. Counter spells in mono green. I love this card. The minute I seen it come out, and I was like, oh, it's going in. Some more creature draw. So 3 power and up. Drawing a card. Every time we cast one, plus we get extra mana. It's just a solid card. Force of doubling up, that's pretty good. More mana. Shields for all our guys in play, that's good. Regeneration. Solid. Also a solid card, the bow. It's like a Swiss Army knife. It's got it all going on here. It's come in handy quite a few times. Plus I can actually get cards back in the deck when I get too greedy, draw too much. Into the equipment now. Boots, obvious choice, just solid. Sword of Feast and Famine. Gonna tap those lands and do more shenanigans. Always a good time. Great card for mono green, especially with the tracker on the table. You give this thing like Bird of Paradise. It's hysterical. It's just a good time. Great win conditioning. Play a whole bunch of idiots on the table. Put this thing on like Psychosis Crawler. Swing for like with 30 cards in your hand. It's goodbye. Thanks for coming out. Into the normal artifacts. Obligatory Soul Ring. Gonna have that. Ivory Tower. Like I said, draw a lot of cards. Why not? Especially Reliquary Tower on the table and keeping them. Just drawing a lot of mana. Sorry, a lot of life every turn. Shields for You. Force Field. Fantastic. Great card in this format. It's like Cop General, basically. Like, it's just amazing. Bouncing guys. Yeah, getting their effects. Seems like a solid choice. Conjured Closet. Crop Rotation to get that Gaia's Cradle out or Shrine. Always solid. Berserker always beats somebody's face down. Always good. Beast Within. Vindicate. Give him an elephant. Yeah, I can live with that. Solid card. Regrowth, bring back those fun toys. And the panic button. I use this to reset when the game's out of control on the other side of the table, which tends to happen when you're playing mono green. You can't really answer too many things sometimes. Try to get enough answers in this deck, but you can't answer everything. So this has come in handy quite a few times. I've cast it with like 30 mana floating, drawing like 30 to 50 cards. It's usually the end of the game by that point. Just a solid card for EDH. So anyways, that's the deck I got going on. Seems to be doing a pretty good job. Just tries to stay relevant at the table for being a mono green deck. Pretty good times though. I haven't really been frustrated with this deck. I hate playing a mono deck in an EDH game and you're just sitting there doing nothing because you don't have an answer. But this is pretty good actually. So if you ever want to give him a shot, he has a good time. I recommend him. Peace out.